Welcome to the observation room. You're here because something inside you has finally reached its final limit. Your only task is to decide if you are ready to see it.
The biggest lie we've been told is that effort alone achieves the results that we want. You've heard the advice, just work hard and you'll get that job you've been looking for, that dream relationship, or even the money you deserve to be making. But what if there's actually something much bigger happening? Something that your favorite movies have been trying to clue you in on for years. Not too long ago, I did a run through popular movies like Moana, The Lion King, and Harry Potter, and I said this. These movies, even though they're all very different, I feel like have one thing in common. They're all about you. All of these stories follow something that's called the hero's journey, which is a story or a path that embraces self-discovery and transformation. And you, whether you accept it or not, are on the hero's journey right now. So if you're here right now, you probably feel like, how do I move forward? You feel stuck. Or maybe even you've been taking steps and you still aren't seeing results. And if you've seen that old video in my hero's journey template, you might think like, maybe I'm here in the tests, failures, and enemies section because everything just feels so hard. Or you think maybe I'm here in the dark night of the soul, death, rebirth era. And you could be, but there's a 90% chance that you are actually right here. Now stick with me because this can actually be your best advantage, but we'll talk about that later on. Because the call to adventure is basically everything you have ever wanted pulling on you to come just take the first step. So every hero refuses the call at least once, but what they don't tell you is that you can refuse this call subconsciously, leaving you to repeat this loop between the call to adventure and the ordinary world over and over again. As humans, our tendency is to stay in our comfort zone. I actually watched this movie called Tarot, and the hidden message in that movie explores this exact feeling. So a group of friends were warned through a cursed tarot deck that if they continued to follow their hidden tendencies and habits and personality traits, it might lead them to a fate that they don't want. And the way the first two friends don't make it kind of shows us or reminds us even that if we don't acknowledge our unconscious tendencies, then it can also sabotage the rest of our story. And what's even more interesting is that even when the group of friends becomes aware that is what's happening, that there will be consequences if they don't course correct, it's almost impossible for them to just stop. Like how the character Madeline in the movie is strictly warned not to run. But when faced with fear, it's the first thing she does. She runs anyway, and her story ends there. So if we're all plagued by unconscious hidden tendencies like this, it can be easy to feel stuck and like you can't get out, which kind of makes you see why effort alone is not going to get anyone past this hurdle. You just end up efforting and pushing harder and harder within the same loop. Or, as I said before, repeating Act 1 over and over again. Now, you can ignore this, but it is draining your spark. That is the cost. You trade in safety for your essence. The most vibrant version of yourself gets compromised, and the longer you take, the harder it is to find it again. And so you will stay stuck in these cycles that you've outgrown and putting in more effort than necessary, hoping it will get you your breakthrough. Now, I've been there. I've experienced so many transformations, from health to relationships to career. And because of that, I've been able to pull out the patterns from each. And this loop here, the one between the ordinary world and the call to adventure, is one of the most elusive, but we can catch it in its tracks. So join as a free member on Patreon and watch the next video in this collection, The Observation Room, so that you can actually start Act 1. Every hero on their journey starts where you are right now, in Act 1.